I'm gonna finish cutting these out so I can run these lower bars straight into here, so I can weld and tack those for now. That way we can get the front end started mocking it up. Hopefully we can get the bottom bars mocked up, crossbar how high it needs to be, and well, I don't know if I'll know exactly how high it's going to be because I don't have the uniballs yet for the spindles, so I'm not going to know an exact height yet. But we can get the bottom ones on, and then we can put some more bracing in, because I'm going to run some more braces like from here to this bar. I'm going to run a bar probably across here. Now I'm going to do, or I'm at least going to come down from here with some bracing bars. So that's the plan. So let's cut this out. Approve, huh? You approve so far? Yeah. Back up. Back up, Missy. Oh well. I need me a stool. Rough on the back. Boy, it'd be a lot easier to cut these off before I, a lot easier to cut these off before I put them bars in there.
Oh, trying to get all the way through it without cutting the tube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it, but this corner's hard to get. Looking good.
Yeah.
This would be,
Yeah, well, did you want to go out past that anyway?
yeah, but I mean, look halfway decent though.
You ain't gonna see it, and you get everything else around there. Now you bring that other bar, you come out here, you're not gonna see it. Finally got smart, didn't you?
Got that today.
Oh, did you get
Huh?
your bearings?
Yeah.
It took forever.
Huh?
It took forever. Angles?
Yeah, well this one right here, I notched it, I got it perfect, like the first try. Cut, a little bit with that, and went right on. It was that one. I started them at 20 degrees, I ended up with an 18. That's how much I cut off of them. Like grinding, trying to get them to fit. Right.
And it's still a lot on the tube.
Took me, what do you mean? It took me 3 minutes to do that one, and probably 25 minutes to do that one. On both of them. Even after I did this one, I still messed this one up. I kept having to grind it to get it to fit. I had to put it up there 100 times. Just the way it looks when you go to cut it, doesn't seem like it's supposed to be right. And then when you go to put it up
Go
there,
by it and mark the bar.
yeah. I did the same thing this one. Marked it. It perfect.
You think that would have been harder because this got the curve. This is pretty much straight.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's to the angle this way, right here. This is more like straight onto the bar, like 90.
Right.
Where this one's at an angle. It has to be what it was. Alright, I need to try and figure out how far we want, how wide I want this thing. I think I'm gonna do, whatever I do at the bottom, I'm gonna do the top bars. That way they're even. So if I go, say I go to here,
Go.
you know what I mean? Like go like right before the bend. Like right at the edge of the bend. That would end up being like 14 inches from outside to outside. I think that would be alright.
Three bottoms. You're not bringing any more down from here, are you?
Yes. I gotta bring one across because those are only gonna be like 10 and an eighth or 10 and a quarter. So I can only have 10 and a quarter from the bottom of this bar to the bottom of the top mounting bar. It can only be 10 and a quarter, like right here. So I'm gonna put a bar right here. And I'm gonna brace that bar with like a bar from here. You know what I'm saying?
Where the top gonna tie in? Into this bar?
The bar straight across here.
Oh, we need another one this way.
What do you mean? For bracing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because if
You don't think that's gonna
if you
fucking,
hit the top,
and you hit, put another bar across there?
yeah, but if this bar is mounted, this top bar is mounted straight to this bar. There's nothing else behind it. So if something gets hit, it's gonna go right straight. It's gonna wanna bend this center bar real easy. If there's nothing going from here to here.
Oh, you take here to this bar?
Well, it would go, yeah, like I'll go from here to here. These, I'm just gonna come straight out. Straight out and straight up. So, just really mark what's straight up, I guess. So I mark this,
Be the bottom.
huh? Guess I'm going to get the board ready. Kind of hard to tell from the bend right there, but
Huh?
about 7 degrees. 7 degrees. 7 degrees. Look straight.
Fucking jigs fit right in there, don't they?
What?
Fucking jig things fit right in there, don't they?
Really, I probably need to do it. Probably need to do this pipe right here. That way I can, you know what I mean, get it. I need to cut at 11, and then cut a 12-inch pipe exactly, and take a 1/2 inch off each side to do the coat. That'd give me 11 and a half. I'll take a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch mean. An inch, I need to cut one 12 and a half inches.
I thought that was 11 and a half, or
11 and a half to each side.
we use 12 and a half inch pipe.
12 and a half inch pipe, and then take a 1/2 inch off each side to do the coat. Take it down to 11.
That's not, if everything's gonna pull in too far, we don't get it enough.
I mean, I can always hold it, and I can make up a little bit of gap with the welder. Got this one. Really? What'd you do? Eat your assistant? Huh? All right, so what you just seen was we put on these 2 bottom bars. We had them at a 7-degree incline upslope from the baseline of the chassis, and then I just put in a brace bar here just so that way it stays the same distance apart. But have you take a look at them. The welder's kind of acting up a little bit. I got to play with it some, so my welds don't look that great at all. So never mind those. I'm gonna have to grind those and put a little bit better one on there. But yeah, so I'll show you this. This is right. It ended up being like right at like 6.5 or 7 degrees. I mean, it's right there, pretty close. So that's what we were shooting for. We're shooting for 7. So that's 7 degrees from, this is flat. This part's flat this way. So 7 degrees upslope. That gives you your caster on your front tires. So now I have to wait because I'm not going to know how high to put the upper A-arm mount bar until I get the uniballs for the spindle. But I'll show you that. I've got the bearings. So the bearings came in today. So basically what you can do is I actually, this is that foam, 3D spindle basically, so you can see what it's going to do. So that's how the bearing's actually going to be mounted to this piece. You can see, it's right nice and tight. You got good room around for your bolts. You can still get a nut in there. Here, got plenty of meat. So then basically you're seeing how this is going to be mounted to this spindle. That's exactly what it's going to look like when it's made out of metal. So you can get a good idea of how it's going to sit. And then what you do is I'll put a couple nuts on here just to hold this. And when I get those uniballs, I'll put them inside here. And then I'll be able to measure from center to center. And that's how high that bottom bar and that top bar have to be apart for the A-arms to mount. Then I can actually take this, like this is the passenger side setup here. So then I can actually take this to the bug and I'll build like a wooden, something out of wood just to hold it where it would actually be with a tire and wheel on it. And then I can measure wheelbase. I can put the wheelbase where I want it. And I can measure the track width. So I can make the track width what I want it. Then I can measure from there to this, where this uniball is going to be, to figure out what the A-arms are going to have to be. So that makes it real easy, a lot easier when you make something like this. So that's why I went through the whole hassle of making this. But it's really not a hassle. It really helps a lot. So I would highly suggest you guys make one of these. Now that I know exactly that everything fits good, I will make a nice drawing of it and actually put the measurements, in inches and stuff of what each one of these pieces is. That would give you a rough starting point. You could get one together, and then if you have to tweak it a little here and there. But the one I had to go off of was on Doug Bug's channel, and he had it set up for like a bit. He had a bitmap version, one for AutoCAD, and then he had one for Bentech. But I couldn't get it to print on my printer 1-to-1, so I had to actually go off the scale he had on there and scale it all up to make this one, to know exactly what this piece was in inches, you know, width, length, all that. So I'll draw it out, and I'll actually, you know, put the measurements of everything on a piece of paper, and I'll video it so you guys can look at it and actually see what the actual measurements are in inches without having to scale it. So you can just draw your own on like a piece of construction paper or something. That's how I'll do it. That way, maybe if you look off of his and look off of mine, it'd be easier to figure out, you know, what's what. But all right, so here's those jawlings that I was telling you guys about that I was gonna put on here, so you guys can actually have measurements. This is the front plate, so I'll try and make it where you can see it without me being in the a shadow of my phone. That one. There's that one. That one down there is 1.5 inches between the holes here. Each hole is 3/4 inch, and then the plate itself is 1.5 inches wide by 9 3/4 inches long. This is the caliper mounting plate. This one you may have to make it like this and wait to drill your own holes in it until you get your caliper and the size of your caliper, because it may be different each caliper, no matter, depending on the caliper you're using. So these are just kind of a rough guideline. You know, you may have to make it just a little bit wider this way maybe if your caliper's deeper. But so this one's 4 1/4 here, 2 1/4, 2 inches here, and 2 inches in between the bends. This one has a lot on it. This one is the bottom mounting tab for the steering. So this is basically where your tie rod would bolt in. There'd be a bolt hole here. This is the bottom plate. So you can get all those numbers. This is the top plate. They are a little bit different. Let you guys get all those numbers. This one over here is 1 1/4 inches and 1 1/4 inches and 2 1/4 inches. And then these are the reinforcement straps that goes on the top and the bottom of the tie rod mounting. And this is, it's 1 1/4 inches wide, and it's 1.5 inches until you start with a gradual bend. That bend will wrap. It'll start right here, it'll go, and it'll start wrapping around this. So you'll kind of gradually bend this all the way to the end. You'll start to bend at 1.5 inches away from the end, and then the bend will continue for 2.5 inches at this arc right here. Now for the other one, it goes right here. So it goes here and then across right here. And that is 1.25 inches wide, and it's 3 1/4 long. Now this little bend here is just a slight down bend right here, right where it comes in contact with the spindles, those back plates. which are right here. So these are the plates that go on the back of the spindle, where the uniball goes here and the uniball cup goes here. And sorry about the shadow. The overall length here is 9 1/4. This is an 1.5 inch hole, just for weight reduction. My uniballs are 1 3/4 inches around. This leg is 3 1/2. This little part is 3/4 inch. And then all these are 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 2 3/4, 3/4, and 1 inch. And then this one's 1 3/4. So for this piece, you'll need 4 of these total. You'll need 2 for each spindle. These you'll need 2 bottoms, 2 tops, 2 of these, and 2 of these. You're gonna need 2 of these and 2 of these. And of course, you're gonna need 2 flat plates. So, what does that look like when it's all cut out? Here's a bottom plate that is cut out. I don't have the hole in it yet for the tie rod, because I don't exactly know where it's gonna be yet. But here's one of those straps. Here's one of the other reinforcement straps for that. Here's the top plate for that. Here is those back portions. Here's the back strap piece. This one doesn't have the holes in it, but they are marked. And then here is the caliper brace piece that gets welded on. And then of course here is the 2 front plates. So when you put all those together, then you get this. So basically, here's your front plate here. Here it is on the spindle. So your front plate goes here. Just mark the holes of your bearing after you get your bearing. So then that's the front plate. And then of course here is the caliper mount. It goes on the side of that. And then if you look at the side this way, or we'll look at the top. Actually, we'll flip it all the way over. Flip it all the way over to the back. Here is that back strap piece. That goes in between 2 of these. This one goes here, and another one goes here. And then this piece goes on top of them, like this. And then of course you have your top plate. It's kind of hard to hold everything with my phone in one hand and everything else. Here's your top plate, which sits like this onto your spindle. So here's the actual spindle all completed. So there's your bottom plate. There's that strap with a little bitty bend on the very edge right there. And then a bend there. And then on this side, that plate starts here, goes around and makes this bend here. And like I said, I haven't made the holes here yet, because I don't exactly know where exactly I want to put them yet. But that's all preference. You can just, I'm gonna go put my tie rod end in there with the Heim joint and the misalignment spacers, and I'm gonna see, you know, how much articulation I get this way and this way for the best placement of the hole before I put a hole in it. You want to make sure you don't get your hole too crazy out here by the edge though. You want to leave enough material out here that it's strong, that it's not going to rip out. So, but that is the gist of it. Now you may have to do a little different modifications here on yours. Like if you have a bigger caliper, this piece may need to be bigger. You know, your holes may need to be drilled closer together, so you may have to make a little bit different piece to hold your caliper. But basically you make this piece go to your caliper, and then when you put the caliper rotor and all that together, then you just made it up to the front flange where you need to and weld it on. So this is kind of project specific, I guess I would say, depending on your caliper. And you know, if you're running like dual piston, 4 piston, you know, I don't know whatever you run, this is gonna be a little different probably. But I just figured I'd give you guys a brief video of that, so you can have the actual measurements in inches. That way you can draw it out just like I did. Draw it out on a piece of paper, measure it, and then you can just take and cut these out, trace them to this foam board, and then cut that out, and then you can hot glue gun it together. Then you have an actual 3-dimensional piece that you can put on the actual, you know, up to your bug or whatever other project. I guess you can make it for any vehicle you wanted to, I guess, if that you were building dune buggy, sand rail, you know, if you wanted it to use the same Toyota 4Runner bearings and stuff. So all right, if you have any questions or whatever, just leave them in the comments. Or I appreciate you guys watching, and have fun. That's where we're at. So now we're gonna probably put in some bracing bars, you know, probably in here. And we may do a couple braces here. And we might hit those top ones that I didn't get the other day. Those ones that go right there. So, I'll show you a quick preview of what we got done. We got these 2 lower bars in. They're swept up 7-degree angle here. We got a brace bar here. That kind of just helps stabilize the, you know, get the same distance in between here. I did put one of the gusset tubes, I got it in here. The other one is made, but my welder ran out of gas. So I'm gonna have to go get some gas tomorrow. That way I can continue working on it. But I have enough pipe to probably finish, or tubing, I should say, to probably finish the front, the shock hoops, and do some more of the back, a little bit more of the back, and then I'll have to order me some more tubing. But yeah, so that's what we got done, and hopefully that wasn't as bad watching me grind and all that. So yeah, it's coming along, kind of slowly, but it'll get there. All right, well, thank you guys for watching again, and make sure to hit subscribe and comment. You know, if you like what I'm doing or have any suggestions, just throw them down in the comments and let me know, and I'll see you guys later.